all of my friends. I thought, since it's been so nice outside recently, it would be fun to do a circle outside. And while we're out here, we can talk about all of the different things we see when we're outside, especially right now when the weather's getting really, really warm. But before we do that, it would be a great idea for us to stretch our bodies, right? So I'm going to sing a little song, and you don't have to know the words with me, but you can do the actions when I do the actions. Okay, are you ready? Hands go up and hands go down. I can turn myself around. I can stand up on one shoe. I can listen, so can you. I can sit, I'll show you how. Circle time is starting now. Great job! It looks like everyone is ready for circle time. So, when the weather gets really hot, what is something that we can do to cool ourselves down? I love, when the weather gets warm, to go swimming. And you know a great place to go swimming? The beach. I don't know if it's warm enough where you are to go to the beach yet. It's not quite warm enough for me to swim at the beach. But you know what you can do at the beach, even when the water is too cold? You can build a sandcastle. I love building sandcastles. I actually have a little rhyme about sandcastles. Would you like to do it with me? So, we have 5 sandcastles. Can you show me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? All right. 5 little sandcastles sitting on the shore. Whoosh goes a wave, and now there are 4. 4 little sandcastles sitting near the sea. Crash goes a wave, and now there are 3. 3 little sandcastles by the ocean blue. Splash goes a wave, and now there are 2. 2 little sandcastles baking in the sun. Along comes a wave. Whoosh. And now there is 1 little sandcastle having so much fun. Shh. Goes the tide, and now there are none. Sandcastles don't last very long because waves are very strong. Now I have a little song that's kind of about the sand and kind of about the beach. It's about pirates. Now, I've never really met a pirate or seen a real pirate, but I do know a few things about pirates. I know that pirates ride on ships, really, really big boats. And I know that pirates can say things like yar and yo ho ho. And I know that sometimes they have pet parrots, which is a type of bird. I don't know much else about pirates, but I do know this song about pirates. Would you like to sing it with me? So, 5 little pirates went out one day, over the sea and far away. The captain said, yo ho ho ho, and 4 little pirates came sailing home. 4 little pirates went out one day, over the seas and far away. The captain said, yo ho ho ho, and only 3 little pirates came sailing home. 3 little pirates went sailing one day, over the seas and far away. The captain said, yo ho ho ho, and 2 little pirates came sailing home. 2 little pirates went sailing one day, over the sea and far away. The captain said, yo ho ho ho, but only 1 little pirate came sailing home. 1 little pirate went sailing one day, over the seas and far away. The captain said, yo ho ho ho, but no little pirates came sailing home. The The sad little captain went sailing one day over the seas and far away. The captain said, "Yo ho ho," and 5 little pirates came sailing home. Now, when the weather gets really, really warm, we can get really, really hot. And when it gets really, really hot, you get sweaty and you take off your coat and you take off your hat. I don't want to tell this story. Now, I have a story, especially about the beach. And I really like this story because this story is all about how we can get bigger and we can get older and a lot of things can change in our lives. But that doesn't mean that. Now, I have another story that's about the beach. And I really like this story because this story tells me that we sometimes can get bigger and older and sometimes things change, but that's okay. So this story is called A House for Hermit Crab. Now, a hermit crab is a special kind of crab that can move from shell to shell, and as he gets bigger, he goes into bigger shells. So hermit crabs like to find shells that fit them just right. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wriggling and waggling about inside to see how it felt. It felt just right. But it looked so plain, said the hermit crab. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. "How beautiful you are," said the hermit crab. "Would one of you be willing to come and live in my house? It's so plain and it needs you." "I'll come," whispered one small sea anemone. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the seafloor. "How handsome you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to decorate my house?" "I would," signaled one little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it in his house. In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. "How pretty you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful?" "I would," creaked a crusty coral. Gingerly, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling across a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving neat paths behind them. "How tidy and hard-working you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to come and clean my house?" "I would," offered one of the snails. Happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. His house seems like it's getting very full. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. "How fierce you look," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to protect my house?" "I would," answered a spiky sea urchin. Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. "It's so dark in here," thought Hermit Crab. "How dim it is," murmured the sea anemone. "How gloomy it is," whispered the starfish. "How murky it is," complained the coral. "I can't see," said the snail. "It's like nighttime," cried the sea urchin. "Look how dark it is in there." In September, the hermit crab spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. "How bright you are," said the hermit crab. "Would one of you be willing to light up our house?" "I would," replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. "How sturdy you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you mind if I rearranged you?" "Not at all," answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a wall around his shell. "Now my house is perfect," cheered Hermit Crab. But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little, over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon, he would have to find another, bigger home. But he had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. "They have been so good to me," thought Hermit Crab. "They're like family. How could I ever leave them?" In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by. "I've outgrown my shell," she said. "Would you know of a place for me?" "I have outgrown my house too," answered Hermit Crab. "I must move on." "You're welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends." "I promise," said the little crab. The following January, Hermit Crab stepped out and the little crab moved in. "Couldn't stay in that little shell forever," said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon, he spied the perfect house. A big, empty shell. It looked a little plain. But sponges, he thought. Barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. The end. So even though the hermit crab was sad to lose his friends, he was very excited to start a new adventure. So, it's almost time for us to say goodbye. But before we do, I thought that we could sing a little chant together. It's a pretty easy one, and you'll catch on fairly quickly. It goes like this. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as fast as we can. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Now, bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as slowly as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as quiet as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as loudly as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as low as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as high as we can. Are you ready? Goodbye! All right, it's been really nice to read these stories with you and sing these songs with you, and I hope to see you again soon. But until we do, goodbye!